Okay, so there's a fair bit of writing over here on the left of your screen. So what we're looking at is 2 AMRAPs. The first one is 3 minutes, and the second one is 6 minutes. And we're going to work on that 4-minute format. 3 minutes on, 30 seconds rest, 6 minutes on, 30 seconds rest, then back to 3 minutes on, 30 seconds rest. We're going to do each one once. And we're going to start with an oblique sky reacher with the kettlebell for 3 minutes. Okay, we're looking to get 10 reps on each side. So an oblique sky reacher is holding the bell above the chest, elbow on the floor, hand on the floor, sitting up, straight up above the head to the sky. Keep an eye on that bell, using your elbow on the floor as your hinge, right? So we're going to go for 10 reps. Try not to swing the arm. And then we're going to go 10 reps on the left after doing 10 reps on the right. And you keep switching 10, 10, 10, 10, 10 for 3 minutes. And then we get a 30-second breather. And then we've got 10 kettlebell swings and then 5 burpee over kettlebell. So find your scaling level, get your chest on the floor for the burpee if you can. And then it's a 2-foot jump over the bell to the other side where you do another burpee. So it's burpee, jump back, burpee, jump, burpee. Every time we clear the bell is 1 rep. And that's going to be 6 minutes long. Then we get a 30-second breather, and then we progress the sky reach into a half get up. All right, so a half get up is where we do our oblique reach. We get up on the palm. We then I'll move back a bit. We then straighten out the leg on the opposing side, and then it's hips up off the floor.
Okay.
And then back down onto our back. And then we go up into an oblique sky reach again, straighten out the leg, hips up off the floor. All right. After that, we're then going to go into a 6-minute AMRAP, and it's going to be alternate snatch. So from the floor above the head, back down to the floor, change hand, and then plyo split squat. So a split squat where you're dropping the knee to the floor, over and back, 10 and 10. After that, we're going to go into the next format of the get up. It's going to be the full get up. So you're going to bootstrap. You're going to start with your oblique, and then you're going to go into your half, and then you're going to bring that leg under the body. So you're kneeling, and then we stand tall, and then back down in reverse, keeping an eye on that bell at all times.
Okay.
We don't want to spill it or tip it forward or backwards. So that's our full get up. Then after that, we're into our thruster, drop into a squat overhead press for 10, and then lateral step ups. It's a side on step onto the chair, 5 reps total. After that, you're into a windmill. So then we're going to take that standing overhead aspect, and we're going to keep the overhead going, but we're going to target those obliques just a little bit more aggressively. And then we're into clean and jerk. So from the floor to the chest, and then above the head, and then pistol squat to chair, 5 reps. Does that make sense? So if you are ready to go, we'll get into our warm-up. So if you want to stick yourself on mute, and then we'll start into our warm-up, and then we'll get going into the full session. And again, if any problems, any questions at any point along it, just unmute, shout at me, and then I'll get the answer, and then we'll get back into the train of thought. Okay, so let's start with some lunges. Feet hip width, big stride, drop the knee, squeeze abs, push yourself back up through the whole sole of that foot. So take your time. Again, we're just working our way through, and as you can see, with every AMRAP, every 3-minute AMRAP we do, we're kind of starting from the floor and working our way up step by step, ultimately to a standing windmill where the bell is overhead. But they all have one thing in common. It's the bell pointed to the sky, stable directly above the body. And imagine it's a tray of water. You don't want to spill it. So we don't want it rocking forwards or backwards in front or behind the body. You got to keep the abs tight. You got to keep an eye on that bell at all times and make sure it stays skyward. Okay, so from there, we're now going to go into some bodyweight squats. So remember, dropping through the hips. Keep the knees pushed out to the side. And then we're going to go into Russian baby makers from there. So hook the fingers under the toes. Push the knees out with the elbows. Raise the hips nice and high while the fingers are still under the toes. And then sit yourself down into that squat again, pushing the knees out with the elbows. So hips high for 3. And then hips low for 3. And then alternating between those 2. High for 3, low for 3. And I'm just, when the hips are nice and high, I'm just shifting my weight from left to right just to exaggerate the hamstring stretch and the lower back stretch on one side more than the other. So getting a nice stretch on the lower back, getting a nice stretch on hamstrings, and then exaggerating the depth in the squat and pushing those knees out with the elbows. Okay, so from there, I'm now going to walk out into the plank position. I'm going to bring my right foot forward beside my right hand, drop my left to the floor, big arm rotation around, and then back down and change sides, left beside left, big arm rotation, and then back down, change, right beside right. Take your time. You might get a few clicks and cracks going on at the back. That's fine. That's it, nice work. Okay, so from there onto your back, knees bent, feet flat on floor. Drive those hips skyward. Getting a stretch on the hip flexors and thighs at the front. Getting hamstrings and butt cheeks at the back. Butt cheeks at the top of the bridge and the hamstrings on the way up and down. Emphasis on the heels pushing into the floor. Let's take one foot off the floor now. And switch other side. And then back to 2 feet. And then back to single leg again. And change. And then finish off 2 feet. And then up we come. And we're going to go back to our lunges just to reassert that movement pattern bilaterally. Bilaterally. Okay. Right. Shake it out. Get your kettlebell, get your dumbbell, get your water nearby because we've got 30-second windows in order to grab a sip of water. If you have any problems, any questions, let me know. Let's throw some tunes on here, and then where are we? We will get going. Okay, so we are starting with oblique sky reachers, 10 reps each side, 3 minutes worth of work. We're starting in 10 seconds. That's not starting. There we go. Now we're starting in 10 seconds. 7 seconds on your back. 3, 2, 1, let's go. And we're trying to keep these knees as steady as possible. Hinging on the elbow, getting up onto the tip of that elbow. We're not getting up onto the hand just yet. Keep the abs tight. And with abs, you gotta really focus on time under tension. And then try not to switch hands directly above the face. "40 seconds gone already. That arm stays straight. Every 10 we're changing. Don't freak out if you get 8 and 12 on one side. As long as we change around about 10. And you're trying to take any kind of swing or momentum out of the equation, because we want to put the focus on the abs and the stabilizers on the shoulders. So in 90 seconds, we're going to do 10 kettlebell swings, followed by 5 burpee over bell. And that's going to be as many rounds as possible in 6 minutes. So we find a tempo that works, and you stick with it for the duration of the 6 minutes as best you can. Can you get the heart rate high? 1 minute to go. And then obviously as we transition further away from the floor with every 3-minute AMRAP, the reps are going to drop because the range of movement is increasing. But it doesn't mean the time under tension changes from a movement perspective. Rest. Right, we got 30 seconds. Give yourself plenty of space. When you put that bell down and you do your burpee beside it, your chest isn't going to go right beside the bell. The bell is probably going to be around belly button level when you do your burpee, because that's where the legs tend to finish. So you're nicely set up to be a lateral bound. Ready to swing in 3, 2, 1. Let's go. We got 6 minutes, 10 swings. Already feel my abs. As soon as you finish the 10 swings, you got 5 burpee. Each one has a jump over the bell to finish it. Then it's back to swings. Four minutes, 15 seconds to go. Over the 2-minute mark. Coming up on halfway. 2.5 to go. Oh man, I think that's 5. Inside 2 minutes. Whew. 90 seconds. Earn that 30-second breather. $45. Whew. And rest. Okay, we got our half get up now. So we're gonna do the bit where we progress onto the hand instead of the elbow. And then we push those hips into the sky. So remember, if my right hand is in the sky, my left leg is out straight. 10 each side. Take your time. Work the rep. And let's go. Up onto the hand, leg out straight, hips high, back to the floor. Keep the arms straight, don't bend the elbow. Control. Woo. I think that's 8. 9. Oh well. Try not to swing that bell forwards or backwards. Spirit level. God, you lose count so easily. That wasn't a good one. Oh. And rest. Oh, it's so difficult when you get tired to really resist swinging that bell backwards and forwards to help you get off the floor. You gotta keep it directly above the body. Okay, we got 10 alternate snatch and then 10 plyo split squat. So we're jumping and switching the feet. And I always like to use the bell as a width gauge for my feet. Okay, snatch it, let's go. And with the snatch lift, it's always about driving that floor away aggressively while holding the posture rigidly. Think of the hips as a slingshot. Hamstrings and core are the two bands of the slingshot. 8. Okay, and I got my plyos. Get that knee all the way to the floor with the plyo. Don't forget the shoulder shrug on the snatch. It coincides with the full extension on the hips. And it's like an afterburner. Keeps that bell moving. It avoids the pull aspect on the arm. You should be very aware of your abs and the role they have in this one, especially after the last 6 minutes of ab work. Oh man, Bernie burn. Heart rate's up. We're gonna keep it there, 4 minutes. Woo. Keeping those little breaks to a minimum. Halfway, 3 minutes. Woo. So stay focused on that slingshot movement. Abs have to stay tight at the top of the snatch in order to stop the hips from flying forward and hyperextending. Oh, wow. Whew. Minute 10. Take that extra second at the bottom of the snatch lift to dial in your posture, build tension in the system, and keep it there. Drive away the floor. Don't pull the bell to you. Lose the core, lose the lift. Rest. Whew. Okay, full get up. Full get up. So we're just adding on. So that leg that goes out in front then turns into a knee on the floor once you're up on the hand. Okay, 5 seconds, down we get. Okay, sitting up onto the hand, leg out straight, hips up, knee under the body, and up, stand tall. And then the same in reverse. Keep an eye on that weight. Exaggerate the movements. Oh, 1 minute gone. Switch sides. Oh man. I always find left side is so much more difficult than right. Wow, 1 minute to go. This one is so difficult because you gotta stay steady underneath that bell. And I am in no way an expert at this lift. I give it my best. 30 seconds to go. Woo! Rest. Okay. We have thrusters, step ups. So 10 thruster, 10 thruster and 10 step ups. Stay side on to the chair when you're doing your step ups. Get that bell on the body, 2 hands or 1, it's up to you. Let's go. Take momentum out of the step up by squeezing your abs. Oh man. Heart rate ain't coming down anytime soon. Wow. If I did this as my first working 6-minute set, I'd be fine. This is taking its toll. All right, 5 steps. Two minutes in. Breathing, breathing heavy. Visualize your lift before it even happens. The ab squeeze is so important when you start to step up. Because it stops that whole swinging aspect going on. Okay, what side was I on? Left side. 2.5 to go, 2:25 to go. Inside the 2. Stay with me. You need to breathe or take a short one. Woo. Oh man, 115, I'm hurting too. That's fine. Extra check on the abs at the bottom of your thruster. Keep them squeezed. Oh. That's a good heart rate. Three, and rest. Woo. Ignore the timer on your screen, I got an eye on it. Okay, we're into our last set of exercises. It's a 3-minute AMRAP on windmills, followed by a 6-minute AMRAP on clean and jerk and pistol squats. So it's windmill first. Whoa. Okay, grab that bell above the head. Right hand above the head with the bell. Left foot turned out. Keep the right or left leg straight. Reaching down to the instep twist. Keep an eye on the bell and up. Keep the obliques working. Keep an eye on that bell. And we only go as low as that bell remains above the body. If it starts to deviate forwards or backwards, you don't go any lower, you come back up. Keep an eye on the bell, not your leg. Because your leg is being held by your hand, you know where it is. Oh. And then when you've done 10 on that side, change to the other side. Oh man, earned my lunch today. Primary focus on this is your abs, obliques primarily, and also stabilizers around the shoulder, chest, tricep, bicep, and lats and traps also come into play. You got your hamstrings and glutes in there for the hinge as well. That is just the cherry on top of the get-ups. And if you're doing the get-ups right, it is so taxing on the body. 1 minute to go. 3, 2, 1, rest. You got 30 seconds. It's gonna be 10 clean and jerk, and then 5 pistol squats in the box. Control the descent into the chair or the box. That's when we get the most out of it. And the abs are so important. This is our last 6 minutes. Ready to go. Posture, posture, posture. And let's roll. To the chest, hip drive above the head. It's not knees, it's hips. Don't forget that shoulder shrug. It coincides with the hips locking out. Oh, yeah, yeah. Why did I leave the most disgusting ones till the end, hey? Spinny. All right, back to clean and jerk. Stay with me, guys. You got this. You're inside the last 5. Set your posture, set your slingshot. Drive the floor away, shrug the shoulder, and then drive it above the head again. Oh. Three and a half to go. Ask yourself why you're doing this, what you want to get out of it, and then apply it, visualize it. If you're getting tension on the lower back, are you pushing your chest out enough? Are you squeezing your abs enough? Are you pulling your shoulder blades back enough? And that happens all before you even take any weight on that bell. In the grand scheme of your body, the weight isn't a massive weight. It's the contraction on the muscles and the time they spend contracted. Oh, that is the tiring aspect and gives you the best return as well. Whew. You're inside 2 minutes. Lose the core, lose the technique. Lose the technique, lose the plot. Whew. Yeah. Oh, man. Oh, yeah. Coming up on home stretch. Oh. 42 seconds. And rest. Woo! All right. Take a second. Get your breathing back down. In through nose, out through mouth. And that heart rate just gradually grew throughout the sets. Let's say it kind of got up to say 120 in the first 9 minutes. And then it didn't drop any lower. Then I got up to 130 by the end of the second, and then 140, 150. It's now up in the 140, 150s, high 150s. So I'm looking to get it to drop down to at least, what, first set, second set territory. And I do that by controlling my breathing. In through nose, out through mouth. And then from now, we're gonna go feet wide, passive hang, soft knees, stick the butt out the back, drop the backs of the hands to the floor, control your breathing even further. And with every exhale, you are relaxing your shoulder blades. Oh, that's the one. Big breath in through nose, prolong it. And then out the mouth. Shoulder blades sink, sink, sink. That's the one. Okay. Now we're going to turn to the right and drop the left knee onto the floor. Tip that knee forward with your two elbows or two hands. Keep the foot flat on the floor in front. If it's not, move it slightly further forward. Keep the width again, because we're looking to get the hip flexor on the knee, on the leg that's on the floor. And we're looking to get a little bit of a hamstring glute aspect on the top. And again, big prolonged breath in through the nose. And then exaggerated exhale. And then we sink forward into that stretch. Whew. That was a good one. Okay, and let's change sides. And again, we're not only just stretching the hip flexor and the hamstring, we're also relaxing the body, letting it know that it's come to the end of the session. And this is by no means a substitute for mobility. It's really important to keep doing your mobility at least once a week, if not more, because those hips, those glutes, those hip flexors, hamstrings and lower back as a result get really tight. So you got to mobilize your hips as best you can throughout the week. Good. Okay. And then very slowly back, up we come. Take a big breath in through the nose. Whew. Exhale out the mouth, and that's your lot. Monday, set you up right for the week. How are we feeling?